Have you ever looked at someone who seemed completely healthy, only to find out months later that their kidneys were already failing? The terrifying part is that kidney disease rarely begins with pain. It begins in silence, quietly, slowly. While most people continue living their normal lives, believing everything is fine, their kidneys may already be losing function day after day without a single warning sign strong enough to stop them. And what frightens me most as a doctor is this: many of the people I see in my office never thought they were doing anything dangerous. They were simply following habits millions of Americans repeat every single day. What if I told you that one of the most damaging things for your kidneys might already be sitting in your kitchen right now? Something so common, so normalized, that you may have consumed it this morning without a second thought. I'm Dr. Caldwell, and after years of treating patients with chronic kidney disease, I can tell you this with complete honesty. Some of the biggest threats to your kidneys are not hidden in rare illnesses or extreme lifestyles. They are hidden in everyday routines that slowly poison the body over time while pretending to be harmless. And the tragedy is that kidneys are incredibly patient organs. They keep working, they keep filtering, they keep fighting for you long after the damage has already begun. That's why so many people don't discover the truth until they hear words that change their lives forever. Dialysis, kidney failure, transplant. I have watched strong men break down in tears in that moment. I have seen families sitting in complete silence after learning that years of small daily choices quietly led them there. And once the kidneys are severely damaged, reversing that damage is often no longer possible. But here's the good news. Your body usually gives you chances long before it gives up. And today I want to help you recognize those chances before it's too late. In this video, I'm going to reveal the everyday habits that silently destroy kidney health, why they are far more dangerous than most people realize, and most importantly, the simple changes that can protect your kidneys before permanent damage begins. Because the truth is, the earlier you understand what's happening inside your body, the more power you have to change your future. And what I'm about to show you may completely change the way you look at your health, starting today. One of the most dangerous things slowly damaging your kidneys right now may not be sugar, alcohol, or even fast food. It may simply be the amount of time you spend sitting every single day. And that's exactly why this problem is so easy to ignore. Because sitting doesn't feel dangerous, it feels normal. Millions of people wake up, sit in traffic, sit at work, sit during dinner, then spend the evening sitting in front of a television before going to bed and repeating the same cycle again the next morning. But inside the body, something very different is happening. I once treated a 61-year-old man who told me, "Doctor, I don't smoke, I barely drink, and I thought I was doing everything right." But he spent almost 10 hours a day sitting. Over time, his blood pressure climbed, his blood sugar started creeping up, and eventually his kidney function began to decline. What shocked him most was that he never felt anything happening until the damage had already started. And unfortunately, his story is no longer rare. Research published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases has linked prolonged sedentary behavior to a significantly higher risk of chronic kidney disease, especially in adults over 50. When the body stays inactive for long periods, blood circulation slows down, metabolism weakens, and the kidneys receive less of the healthy blood flow they desperately need to filter toxins properly. Think of it like a river. When water keeps moving, it stays clean and alive. But when water becomes stagnant, everything inside it slowly begins to decay. The good news is that your kidneys respond surprisingly fast to movement. Even short walks, stretching every hour, or standing more throughout the day can improve circulation and reduce pressure on these silent organs that work for you every second. But simply moving more is still not enough, because the next poison is even more dangerous precisely because so many people take it believing it helps them feel better. And this is where the danger becomes even more deceptive, because the next poison doesn't come from laziness or unhealthy eating habits. It often comes from a place people trust the most, their own medicine cabinet. Every single day, millions of Americans reach for painkillers without thinking twice. A headache, back pain, sore knees, arthritis. One pill feels harmless. After all, these medications are sold everywhere: grocery stores, gas stations, pharmacies. But what most people never realize is that some of the most common pain relievers can quietly starve the kidneys of the blood flow they need to survive. I remember a woman in her late 60s who came to see me after months of feeling unusually tired. She told me she had been taking ibuprofen almost every day for chronic joint pain because she wanted to stay active and independent. She never imagined the medication helping her pain was also slowly damaging her kidneys at the same time. When her lab results came back, her kidney function had dropped far below normal. And the hardest part was hearing her ask, "Why did nobody warn me this could happen?" Medications known as NSAIDs, including ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac, work by blocking chemicals involved in pain and inflammation. But according to the National Kidney Foundation, those same drugs can also reduce blood flow to the kidneys, especially when used frequently or over long periods of time. Imagine squeezing a garden hose tighter and tighter every day. Eventually, less water gets through. That's exactly what happens inside the tiny blood vessels feeding your kidneys. Now, this doesn't mean you should fear every painkiller. Used occasionally and correctly, many of these medications can be safe. But depending on them daily without medical guidance is where the real danger begins. If you regularly take pain relievers, especially over the age of 50, this is something you should absolutely discuss with your doctor. But wait, the next two poisons are the ones I fear the most because millions of Americans consume them every single day without realizing the damage. And the next one may already be hiding in the food you ate today. And this is the point where kidney damage often starts accelerating without people realizing it, because the next poison doesn't taste dangerous. In fact, most of the time, you can't even notice it. I'm talking about sodium, the massive amount of hidden salt packed into processed foods that millions of Americans eat every single day. And the frightening part is that many people still believe the problem only comes from using too much salt at the dinner table. But the real danger is already built into frozen meals, canned soups, deli meats, fast food, sauces, packaged snacks, and even foods that don't taste salty at all. I once spoke with a patient who proudly told me he had cut back on salt for years. He stopped adding extra salt to his meals and believed he was protecting his heart and kidneys. But when we looked closely at his diet, nearly everything he ate came from boxes, cans, or drive-through windows. His blood pressure kept climbing higher and higher, and eventually his kidneys began showing signs of stress. What shocked him most was learning that some processed meals contain more sodium in a single serving than the body should ideally consume in an entire day. According to the CDC, over 70% of sodium in the American diet comes from processed and restaurant foods, not from the salt shaker. And when excess sodium floods the bloodstream, the body holds on to more water to dilute it. That extra fluid raises blood pressure, forcing the kidneys to work under constant strain. Imagine blasting a delicate water filter with the pressure of a fire hose every single day. Eventually, the filter begins to crack. That's what uncontrolled high blood pressure silently does to the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys. The good news is that small changes can lower that pressure faster than most people think. Cooking more meals at home, reading nutrition labels, reducing processed foods, and replacing salty snacks with real whole foods can dramatically reduce stress on the kidneys over time. But even salt is not the most destructive thing damaging kidney health today. Because the next poison doesn't just attack the kidneys directly, it slowly rewires the entire body. And millions of people are consuming it from the moment they wake up in the morning. But now we've reached the poison that worries me more than almost anything else I see in modern medicine. Because this one doesn't just damage the kidneys, It attacks the entire body from multiple directions at once. I'm talking about sugar and refined carbohydrates, the hidden force behind the explosion of type 2 diabetes, obesity, fatty liver disease, chronic inflammation, and ultimately, kidney failure. And what makes this so dangerous is that it has become completely normalized. Sugary coffee in the morning, soda at lunch, processed snacks during the day, dessert at night. For millions of people, this cycle repeats every single day without ever realizing the damage building quietly underneath the surface. I remember one patient who looked at me in complete disbelief after being diagnosed with early kidney disease. He said, "Doctor, I don't even eat that much sugar." But when we broke down his daily routine, the truth became obvious. Sweetened cereal in the morning, white bread sandwiches at lunch, energy drinks in the afternoon, pasta or takeout at night. His body was being flooded with fast-absorbing sugar almost non-stop from sunrise to bedtime. And over time, that constant spike in blood sugar slowly began destroying the tiny filtering units inside his kidneys. According to the CDC, diabetes remains the leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. And diets high in added sugars and refined carbs play a major role in driving insulin resistance and metabolic disease. When blood sugar stays elevated for years, it damages blood vessels throughout the body, including the millions of delicate filters inside the kidneys. It's almost like pouring syrup through an engine every single day. Eventually, everything begins to clog, overheat, and fail. The most powerful part is this: your kidneys often start recovering the moment you begin changing what fuels your body. Drinking more water instead of soda, replacing ultra-processed foods with real meals, choosing whole grains over refined carbs, and cutting back on hidden sugars can dramatically reduce the pressure your kidneys face every day. And if you've listened this far, I want you to understand something important. Kidney damage does not happen overnight, which means protection doesn't happen overnight either. But small choices repeated consistently can completely change the future of your health before it's too late. By now, I hope you understand something deeply important. Your kidneys are working for you every second of every day, even when you don't notice them. They keep your blood clean, your body balanced, and your energy alive in silence. And the truth is, most people never think about their kidneys until something starts going wrong. But if you're hearing this message today, then you still have something incredibly valuable: time. Time to make small changes before small problems become life-changing ones. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight. Sometimes the most powerful decisions are the simplest ones. Walk a little more each day. Drink more water instead of sugary drinks. Be careful with medications you take too often. Read food labels more closely. Give your body real food, real movement, and real care. Your kidneys notice those choices more than you think. And if this video helped you in any way, I want you to do one important thing for yourself and for the people you love. Save this video. You may need this reminder again someday, and someone close to you may need to hear this message before it's too late. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because every week we share simple, science-based health information designed to help you protect your kidneys, your heart, and your long-term health before silent damage begins. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 4 silent poisons surprised you the most? Was it sitting too much, painkillers, salt, or sugar? Leave a comment below, because I truly do read them, and your story may help someone else realize they are not alone. Take care of your kidneys, take care of your body, and most importantly, never ignore the quiet signals your health is trying to give you. This is Dr. Ethan Caldwell, wishing you a longer, healthier, and stronger life. I'll see you in the next video.